Help give kids an extra life by donating today to help sick and injured children. Link in the description and pinned comment below.
There is no Easter Bunny, there is no Tooth Fairy, and there is no environmentally friendly crypto.
The Battle Royale, a free-for-all contest of survival where the last one standing wins. Dating as far back as 18th century England or possibly even further, gaining modern-day popularity thanks to professional wrestling, and making its way into film, anime, and other media, it was only a matter of time before video games picked up on the idea as well. The first Battle Royale game was a Minecraft mod inspired by the Hunger Games, but eventually the idea led to standalone games such as PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds and the ever-present cash cow that is Fortnite. And while several games in the burgeoning genre are shooters, games like Tetris 99, Pac-Man 99, and Super Mario Bros. 35, which Nintendo had no excuse to make limited, have proven that games of all stripes could be reimagined as insanely intense competitions. So let's dig into the magic raffle bag of What If, and see what other games we could reimagine as winner-take bragging rights showdowns of skill, strategy, and let's face it, endurance. I'm not only looking at how fun it could be, but also how such a game might be handled as a battle royale. You'll honestly have an easier time making it to the end of this video than making it to the end of a battle royale yourself. It's game time! Or should I say... I've talked on occasion about how I've come to love Custom Robo in recent years. I've talked about the customization and how it allows for tons of gameplay possibilities. I've mentioned how a series like this could thrive in today's modern gaming landscape. I've brought up how the series has potential to be an esport, especially after Nintendo updated their servers after how long? Thing is, a series that focuses on multiplayer battles to begin with already has one point in its column for Battle Royale potential. The GameCube version allowed for up to 4 players already, and that was before online gaming really took off. So how about we up the ante to 8, or maybe even 16? The potential for absolute chaos could be staggering. The reason it's only number 10, however, is because the logistics of the whole thing may be a bit complicated. How would the custom parts be handled? Would players earn in-game currency through playing the game a crap ton? Would there be a battle pass system like in Fortnite so that players could earn new robos and parts that way? Would weapons and parts simply be scattered throughout the Holosseum for players to pick up and change on the fly? There's a lot of questions that would need to work out for Custom Robo to work as a battle royale. But if the pieces were to come together well, we'd have something that the Battle Box would only dream of hosting. Full disclosure here, several of these entries I imagine would follow the Tetris 99 template to some degree, because, well, it's worked so far. That said, here's some cute fairies. If you've seen my Neo Geo games list, then you may remember that I consider Twinkle Star Sprites as one of the best shmups you've probably never played. Given its adorable sprite work and its charming soundtrack, you might not expect it at first glance, but this game is deviously intense. How often do you see a shmup that feels like a competitive puzzle game at the same time? Here's a hint, you're looking at one right now. The back and forth of combo chains, rebounding attacks, and boisterous bosses you can send to your opponent makes for a crazy experience with just one opponent. Now imagine such a battle with 35 or even 99 players. It would be a complete and utter maelstrom of chaos. With various targeting strategies, not to mention being able to bounce opponents' attacks right back, you can imagine that only those who are focused like a laser would be able to survive. The need for constantly adapting strategy on top of keeping an eye on your own situation would demand your full attention at all times. There would be absolutely no room for distraction for even a second. But the absolute mayhem would make for the wildest of stream highlights. The intensity, the triumph, the absolute salt, it would absolutely be asking for reaction compilations. That alone would be reason enough to at least try it. Besides, SNK needs more than fighting games. Still waiting on that new Metal Slug game there, Chief. You know, if you think hard enough, you could make a lot of classic games into Battle Royale games with the right framework. So, how about we break out of the box for this one? Arkanoid is one of Taito's arcade classics, and when most people think of Brick Breaker games, it's either Atari's original Breakout or this one, which spawned a whole shit ton of clones of its own. It's like the original Breakout had a son that went crazy all over the place, if you know what I mean. Wait, the original Breakout had a bunch of clones before Arkanoid? Okay, like father like son, I guess. I picked Arkanoid over the original Breakout because of what the former had over its ancestor. Stuff that future Block Breaker games would include. Power-ups like lasers, multi-balls, paddle modifiers, etc. that would give you an edge. Blocks that are decidedly more durable than sandcastles. And probably the element that would most come into play in a Battle Royale version of this game, the enemies that serve no purpose other than to get in the way of your blockbusting. And that would honestly be the main method of attacking opponents the way I see it. You could send over any enemies you bash on your field over to your opponent's fields to disrupt their play and cause them to slip up, or you could build up your attack with a power meter that fills up as you break blocks, possibly even faster with multiple combo clears. It would make for a fast and exciting match with balls flying everywhere at crazy fast speed. Focus and anticipation would be the key factors in winning a game like that, and that's even before you factor in possible power-ups. You could even work in power-up bonuses for clearing boards. I mean, what else would you do? Pong with 99 players? Don't get me started with what a mess that would be. Pac-Man 99 manages to work really well because of the method of attack, using chains of ghosts to send jammers to the opponent. So, if such a maze game works well as it does in a Battle Royale space, perhaps a space shooter could work just as well, if not better. So, Taito, you're up again. This isn't simply old school, this is ancient Greece with the old philosophers. Space Invaders is what we in the know like to refer to as the OG, the granddaddy of shmups. It was a pioneer. First known game with multiple lives, first known game with background music, and it introduced the difficulty curve by accident. It's as basic gets. One ship, 4 areas of cover, and a crap ton of aliens to blast. But its simplicity is what made it so addicting and a staple of the early arcades. But that doesn't mean it hasn't been open to updates. Over the years, we've gotten several, some of which might have escaped greater notice, like Return of the Invaders, Super Space Invaders 1991, and Space Invaders 95. That one was a real trip. Then we've got more recent titles like Infinity Gene and the Extreme games. So honestly, I figure the next logical step is the Battle Royale. Imagine 99 players blasting waves upon waves of aliens, sending them to their opponents as the aliens just get faster and faster, leading to complete interstellar bedlam. I'd maybe throw in boosts for clearing waves, or power-ups for hitting the UFO as it passes overhead. Maybe pattern the waves after the Extreme games too. Not to mention the potential for themes. Namco gave us a lot of themes for Pac-Man 99 based on its various classics, so why not have Taito do the same? Bubble Bobble, Arkanoid, Jungle Hunt. Anyone here remember Jungle Hunt?
Now, I could have gone with Galaxian for the space shooter route, but I think this is just more iconic. Don't worry, I've got plans for Galaxian. If companies would ease up on the revival announcements for 5 minutes.
Just about to reach the halfway mark, and we're just now reaching a puzzle game. And how fitting that it's the one that's shared a double bill with Tetris. Hey, what's good for the goose is good for the jelly blob, right? Some people first got into this series because of Eggman. Some were first introduced by way of Kirby. Others still didn't bother with all the licensed window dressing and got their first fix straight up. But once you start dropping, there ain't no stopping the poppin'. Puyo Puyo was a natural pick for this list. Puyo Puyo Tetris is a thing, we have a Tetris Battle Royale, so logically, Puyo Puyo Battle Royale would be an ideal fit. It's just math. And the game as it is can really suck up your time, especially when you're duking it out with others. Strategy, sabotage, and the mercy of the next queue can lead to fierce battles as you try to set up that one big chain that sends everything tumbling down and just buries the opponent in garbage. It's just so satisfying. So imagine what would happen if we had 99 players. Now imagine the mayhem. Every placement would become crucial, as well as anticipating the deluge of garbage from multiple other players. Every setup would become precisely calculated to construct the perfect chain of combos. It would be an insane test of focus and coordination. And don't get me started on the possibility of including Fever Mode from Puyo Pop Fever. Fill up a meter and you've got a chance to get right back in it and deliver some sweet, sweet payback to everyone who set their laser sights on you. And there's plenty of potential visual variety as well. The series has plenty of its own characters, not to mention a guest star or two. All those characters would have their own style to them, so plenty of reason to earn daily mission bonuses. Maybe let Sonic in on the fun, or maybe Miku and friends for good measure. Hey, she had a Puyo Puyo minigame in Project Mirai, so there's no reason not to let her join. Just try not to let her hair get all gummy, okay? To introduce the next topic, let's briefly talk about how Dragalia Lost added a Battle Royale mode to their game. Basically, instead of unfairly favoring people who invested heavily in the game, everyone mercifully starts on a level playing field, and victory depends on your skill and your management of the field. Imagine something like that, on a slightly bigger scale, and with a lot more particle effects. When you make a camp show out of Chinese history, or hell, history in general, the result is a sight to behold. Despite how simple Dynasty Warriors may seem to someone who's never played it, you realize there's a lot to killing enemies in the flashiest ways imaginable. The question here is, how do you take a game that relies on killing tons of hapless mooks and capturing enemy bases into a Battle Royale game? Well, this is going to take some explaining, but there's a reason I brought up Dragalia Lost's Battle Royale mode. Essentially, it's PvEvP. You have the various players, yes, but there's several more elements to it. You have the enemies on the battlefield that drop experience and skill items. You also have hazards on the field, and events that take place during battle that result in the dropping of boosts for your stats that give you an edge. The key to high performance in such a battle is deciding when to farm grunts and when to start moving in for the kill. I envision Dynasty Warriors working in a similar fashion. Farm the mooks, build up your stats and abilities, then track your opponents down and make them ballistics dummies for your own personal kill tests. Of course, you gotta remember, everything you're doing, your opponents would probably be doing at the same time. It would come down to skill and management of your time and abilities, and your mastery of the field. Or if you want to compare it to something more popular, think of it like something akin to Fortnite without the building and everyone has swords instead of guns. First we take down Tomato Town, then we take down all of China. There will be no one left to stand in the way of our glorious conquest. With a company as important as Taito, you'd think it wouldn't have taken them as long as it did in this generation to open up their vaults a bit more. But hey, we've gotten a few collections, as well as a new Bubble Bobble game, surprised to be sure, but a welcome one, and Bust-A-Move got a VR game and an official Toho spin-off.
Okay, I was definitely not expecting that, but in this day and age, you never really know what to expect. You still know where I'm going with this, don't you?
Bust-A-Move, or Puzzle Bobble as it's known elsewhere, is an old favorite of mine, which I've brought up on a vintage video or two. It's a game of precision and strategy that's a color-popping, bubble-dropping, never-stopping puzzle fest that's stuck with me for a long, long time. I mean, the idea is easy enough. Pop 3 or more bubbles of the same color, drop clusters of bubbles to attack your opponents, and don't let your stack cross the bottom line or you're done. Later games added gimmicks like rainbow bubbles and chain combos and all that stuff, and that's cool and all, but it's the raw simplicity of the game that makes it so fun and addictive. So, once again, following the Tetris 99 template, we find ourselves with yet another crazy battle royale in our heads. 99 players, firing bubbles, dropping clusters, chaining combos, throwing attacks every which way but looser than my old baby teeth were. Suddenly, it's not just about being accurate, but being quick and accurate, lest your garbage pile build up to the point where that one B-movie scene is no longer the scariest thing you associate with Garbage Day. You need to be just pop, 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 and don't stop until the last player drops. And it's not like we don't have a precedent for this. Bust-A-Move Bash on the Wii had an 8-player mode already. Granted, it was all on one screen and was hampered by the fact that it was yet another early Wii game that just had to use motion controls. Look, let everyone have their own screen, have button controls, expand the field of players, include the Bubble Bobble characters, and maybe the super ones too, and we'd be good. Also, you guys may need to think of a different name for it since Bust-A-Move 99 is already taken. You know, I still don't understand why they called it that when it was just a home port of Bust-A-Move 3. Oh yeah, I would. Come on, you know I would. If you all really think I fucking wouldn't, then you do not know me. At all. Do you know where this countdown topic goes? That's right, it goes in the Mega Man hole. After how well Mario 35 worked, bring it back, Nintendo! There's no reason why other games in the 2D platforming genre wouldn't work in the Battle Royale style as well. And with the next big Mega Man game still in the works, no doubt affected by you-know-what, I feel like Mega Man would be the ideal platformer to follow Mario. For one thing, the classic Mega Man games pride themselves on their top-notch level design, something that would translate especially well to the Mario 35 format. This is especially true of the endless modes included in Mega Man 9 and 10. Various challenge rooms separated by teleporters would make for a solid level format, with the occasional Robot Master boss battle to break things up. So here's how I see it working. We have a mix of segments from classic Mega Man levels and the endless stages, maybe with some original layouts thrown as well, along with some Robot Master fights to spice things up. One life, a timer, and defeating enemies sends them to your opponents, and yes, that includes bosses. You got most of your standard pickups like health energy and weapon energy. Oh wait, I forgot about something. How can we handle the special weapons? We can't exactly give players a full loadout at the start, that's at least 100. Hold on, that's it! Mega Man Maker lets you include special weapons as pickups in the levels you create. We can do it like that. Give players a new weapon every few levels as a pickup, or you could do it the old-fashioned way with every boss defeated granting you a new weapon. That way we could include the special weapons and still keep things balanced. Not to mention, it's a game that could see continuous growth. There's already 12 games in the Classic series you could draw from. Yes, Mega Man and Base counts, don't pretend it doesn't. That means you've got over 90 Robot Masters to take stages, fights, and weapons from, but with a free-to-play game, you wouldn't need to do it all at once. You could start with material from the first few games and gradually expand it over time.
You would just need to keep it playable for more than 6 months and change. I'm not bitter.
I'm sorry that I have to keep bringing up Mario 35, but as part of Super Mario's 35th anniversary, it was a blast. And the reason I'm bringing it up here is because 2 other important Nintendo series are also celebrating 35th anniversaries this year. One of them is Metroid, but I feel like the kind of game Metroid is might make at least the 2D ones difficult to integrate into a Battle Royale. They might be able to get away with it with Prime, but we're still waiting for Prime. On the other hand... Look, I know we're getting Sword Scored HD with optional button controls this year, but I refuse to believe that's all Zelda's getting for the 35th. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if Nintendo were working on something like this as we speak. So for this one, I'm thinking Endless Dungeon. Clear out room after room of enemies to advance to the next room, picking up items to use along the way. As you defeat enemies, they might be sent to other players to get in their way, or bring them closer to running out of hearts. Of course, only the enemies native to the room you're in would count towards unlocking the next room, otherwise we'd get nowhere in a hurry. We could also include bosses from the original game to add a bit more spice. You can also spend save rupees to start out with a certain sub-weapon in your arsenal right off the bat. Finding good items and managing your health would be the key to victory here, because some items like bombs and arrows would work better in certain situations and room layouts. That's how I'd handle a Zelda Battle Royale under the Mario 35 template with the 2D games, and originally that's where I would have stopped, since I originally thought the 3D style of Zelda wouldn't translate well to a Battle Royale. But then I thought, could it? Perhaps we could have a big open field or a multi-level dungeon layout, a whole bunch of links fitted out with custom decorations and gear, and a whole bunch of places to find stuff like arrows, bombs, and other weapons. It would be all-out mayhem, beating monsters to stockpile items and engaging in fierce battles of skill across a sprawling map of Hyrule. Swords clashing, arrows flying, hook shots grabbing, boomerang zooming, bombs blasting, every Hylian for themselves. A struggle of attrition where only the strongest Link reaches the top. Now how's that for an anniversary celebration, huh? Throw that on top of more info about Breath of the Wild 2 and another Zelda collection, and we'd have quite a party going on. At least unless Nintendo decides to pull the plug again.
You are the weakest link. Goodbye.
Before we move on, here are a few honorable mentions. Galaxian, Asteroids, Puzzle Fighter, Dr. Mario, and Castlevania. And now let's see what my followers have to say with this month's patron picks.
Dark Souls Battle Royale, where you can kill other players to gain their souls so that you can power up during the fight.
Guitar Hero, I mean, what with Guitar Hero 3 giving us power-ups to do battles such as a broken string, whammy bar paralysis, and a death drain? Imagine this with 99 players. Seriously, think about it.
The frantic action that is the running gun definitely needs a battle royale, especially this game. Though, knowing how chaotic Metal Slug can be, I'd probably minimize it to just 15 people.
You know, the thing with most Battle Royale games I've seen is that they're free to play. I mean, it makes sense. What better way to get tons of players beating the crap out of each other than to drop the barrier of entry to your system specs, am I right? Then they get you with the in-app purchases. Sometimes those purchases are worth it if you're careful about what you offer and how you offer it. I would pay money for this base game alone. I have been wanting this ever since Tetris 99 was a thing. Puzzle League, Tetris Attack, Panel de Pon, I don't give a fuck what you call it. I want it as a 99-player Battle Royale now. Out of all the games I could see adapted to the format, to me, this makes the most sense and it would get me more pumped to endure the battle than anything else. Yeah, a lot of that comes down to my childhood and college nostalgia, but really, that's as valid of a reason as anything else. Of course, there's also the fact that this game is addictive as hell and is held in high regard by the puzzle game community at large. The simple gameplay of shifting colored panels to create massive chains and combos, and creating enormous garbage blocks to dump on opponents, would keep me glued to the controller for literally hours. I remember maxing out the timer one time with my old college roommate. That's how intense it got. And this game has been featured in many tournament events, and the original is even featured on Nintendo Switch Online, so there's already a thriving scene for this game. So imagine something like that with 99 players. Getting garbage sent to you from player after player, only for you to use that very garbage to set up the most massive chain to punish those poor saps right back. It would be a total blockfest of back and forth with incredible attacks, incredible reversals, and incredible comebacks at the last moment. Boom, you're down. Boom, you're down. Boom, you're down. Give me 2D, give me 3D, give me HD, give me micro SD, give me King DDD. Actually, give me plenty of character skins to choose from. We've already got Pokemon, Yoshi's Island, and the OC fairies to buy with tickets from daily missions, and why not add a ton of other character themes from other franchises? Tetris 99 already did that, and you all know how that worked well enough. The point is, Puzzle League would make an ideal Battle Royale game on the Switch. It's addictive, it would work perfectly with the Tetris 99 template, and people would be playing it up the wazoo. I'd be happy, the puzzle game community would be happy, puzzle tubers would be happy seeing all the highlights. It's pretty much a no-brainer at this point.
Puzzle games are honestly one of my favorite genres, so you can imagine I got into Tetris 99 right from the start. If you watch my streams on Twitch, you'd know that. So imagine the fun we'd all have with Puzzle League as a battle royale. Not just to play, but to watch too. I mean, it deserves better than a watered-down version in Animal Crossing. I'm the Quarter Guy, and until next time, the arcade is closed.
Okay, game developers, can I finally talk about Galaxia next month without someone butting in? Hey everyone, QG here. If you enjoyed the video, please like, subscribe, leave a comment, and share the video around. Feel free to check out my Twitter and my Twitch streams, and consider supporting me through Patreon and donating to my Extra Life campaign to support Children's Wisconsin. Thanks for watching.